Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this. It's a rainy midnight in the city of Vijayawada. Outside, it's pitch black, storming pretty hard. But inside, we've got our main guy, Arjun. He's a software employee, sitting all alone in the quiet glow of his laptop, just trying to wrap up some late-night work. His wife, Deepika, is already fast asleep in the other room. It's kind of the ultimate picture of just mundane, everyday life, right? Well, as we'll uncover in this explainer, that mundane reality is about to be completely shattered. Because suddenly, cutting right through the quiet of the house, his phone rings.
Arjun looks down at the glowing screen, and it flashes with two words, unknown number. Now naturally, he frowns. I mean, who calls at midnight from a blocked number? He answers the call, lifts the phone to his ear, and at first, there's absolutely nothing. Just this cold, empty hiss. For a few agonizing seconds, there's only the crackle of static noise. And then, cutting right through that static, a little girl's voice whispers, "Dad, please save me." Arjun just freezes completely. He manages to ask, "Who is this?" And the tiny, terrified voice replies, "Dad, I'm scared. They're coming." And just like that, click. The call disconnects, plunging Arjun right back into dead silence.
So his heart is absolutely pounding at this point. We can totally understand his sheer terror and confusion here. Because why did that little girl call him dad? You see, Arjun doesn't have any children. It makes zero sense. He desperately tries calling the number back, trying to figure out if this is just some bizarre prank or a weird wrong number. But all he gets is that automated voice, "The number you are trying to reach is unavailable." Yeah. So as you can imagine, sleep completely evades him that entire night. He just tosses and turns, completely haunted by that whisper.
Now, what's really interesting about this discovery is how modern technology kind of collides head-on with the supernatural here. The next morning, absolutely desperate for answers, Arjun takes that unknown number and runs it through the Truecaller app. He hits search, and the name that pops up makes his blood run completely cold. Sanvi. It wasn't a wrong number. It definitely wasn't a prank. Sanvi was the name of his daughter. To really understand this present-day horror, we have to rewind and look at the past. 5 years ago, Arjun actually had a baby daughter named Sanvi who tragically passed away in a terrible accident. This tragedy is what bridges the gap for us. We've got the crash 5 years ago, which is followed by that first mysterious phone call on night 1 of our timeline. And that brings us right to present day, night 2, because guess what? The phenomenon doesn't stop. That very next night, the phone rings again.
Arjun answers it, his hand literally trembling. The exact same whispered voice comes through the speaker. "Dad? It's very cold here." But this time around, it's not just static. Arjun strains to listen, and he can distinctly pick up this sensory detail in the background. It's the hollow, echoing sound of water dripping. Drip, drip, drip. It adds this incredibly eerie, almost physical dimension to an already impossible phone call. Nervously, fighting down his rising panic, Arjun asks into the receiver, "Where are you?"
The little girl's whisper comes back, chilling and almost accusatory. "Where you left me." Now just think about the psychological impact of those 5 words. The second she says that, a violent rush of memories just comes flooding back into Arjun's mind. The dam totally breaks. He's instantly transported back to the darkest moment of his entire life, entirely triggered by this impossible voice on the other end of the line. The bare, devastating facts of that memory are this. 5 years ago, on another terribly rainy night, Arjun was driving his family. Their car lost control and crashed violently near an old bridge. In the chaotic aftermath of twisted metal and pouring rain, Arjun made it out. He survived. But the doctors ended up delivering the most earth-shattering news any parent could ever hear. His baby daughter, Sanvi, did not. That immense grief from that night is really the emotional anchor of this entire explainer. So, driven by this heavy mix of profound grief, terrible guilt, and honestly a supernatural compulsion, Arjun doesn't even hesitate. That very night, he gets into his car and drives straight to the accident spot. The weather is mirroring the past perfectly too. Rain is just pouring heavily from the sky as he pulls up. He steps out of his car and stands right near the edge of that old bridge, the exact physical location where his life fell apart 5 years earlier. As he stands out there in the pouring rain, just staring into the pitch-black darkness, the phone rings again. He answers it. "Dad, I'm here." The voice is crystal clear now. Arjun slowly lowers the phone and looks down over the edge of the bridge, and right there, standing perfectly still under the structure of the bridge, is a little girl. She's wearing a white dress. Arjun is completely breathless at this point. He whispers out into the rainy night, Sanvi. And the little girl slowly, deliberately raises her hand.
So the crucial point is, this is where everything shifts. We usually expect a classic ghost story to be all about revenge, right? Or maybe a spirit trapped in limbo, begging for peace. But Sanvi's ghost speaks to him and says, "You couldn't save me that day, but you can still save Mom." Sanvi isn't actually asking to be saved from the dark at all. She's there as a guardian. She is delivering a frantic, incredibly urgent warning about his wife, Deepika. Arjun's eyes widen in absolute terror as it clicks. The danger isn't here at the bridge, it's back at his house.
What follows is just a pure, frantic race against time. Arjun immediately dials Deepika's number. It rings and rings. No answer. He jumps back into his car, rushing home in an absolute panic, his heart totally in his throat. He arrives, and he finds the front door left completely wide open. He bursts inside and is immediately hit by the overwhelming, toxic smell of a massive gas leak. And right there, lying completely unconscious on the floor, is Deepika. Knowing that even another few minutes in that toxic air would literally kill her, Arjun quickly scoops her up, carries her outside into the fresh air, and rushes her straight to the emergency room.
The pacing finally slows down a bit as they reach the hospital. Hours pass. Agonizing, slow hours of waiting. Finally, the doctor emerges, looks Arjun right in the eye, and delivers a pretty chilling reality. He says, "You brought her at the right time. A little later, and it would have been too late." I mean, let the sheer weight of that sink in for a second. A little later, if he hadn't driven to the bridge, if he hadn't answered that impossible supernatural phone call, Deepika would be gone.
The adrenaline finally starts leaving Arjun's body, and it's quickly replaced by this overwhelming wave of relief mixed with deep sorrow. He steps out into the quiet, sterile hallway right outside Deepika's hospital room. Standing there all alone, the sheer reality of the entire night just washes right over him. Tears begin to roll down Arjun's face. It's this moment of profound, heavy emotional closure.
And that brings us to the beautiful resolution of our story. As Arjun stands weeping in the hallway, he happens to look up. And there, standing quietly at the far end of the hospital corridor, he sees the little girl again. But the atmosphere, it isn't scary anymore, not at all. She looks right at her father and she smiles softly. She raises her little hand one last time, waves at him, and then gently disappears into the darkness, her mission entirely complete.
Standing there in the empty hallway, knowing his wife is safe and knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that his daughter's spirit is finally at peace, Arjun speaks into the empty air. With tears still gleaming in his eyes, he just whispers, "Thank you, Sanvi." It's the ultimate expression of gratitude, wrapping up this terrifying night with a truly beautiful moment of pure parental love.
As we wrap up this explainer, we're really left with a lingering thought. This story takes all those classic elements of a supernatural thriller, the midnight call, the rainy bridge, the ghostly apparition, and turns them into this powerful testament to familial bonds. It leaves us asking, even in death, can a child's love reach across the void to protect their family? It's a question that completely challenges the boundaries of life, death, and the enduring power of love. Thank you so much for walking through this source material with me today. Keep asking questions and never stop exploring the unknown.
Like, share and subscribe for more videos.